Hello, Barb McCarthy again with the PCA, and with me to do presentation number 10 of 13 is Nick Haig. And Nick Haig is also with the PCA in the Certification and Training Unit. This presentation is going to be composed of short information, and then we have a video piece. And it's going to be on basic septic system operation and maintenance. And we have two learning outcomes here. One, that you understand the need for proper system operation, which is needed by the owner. And two, they understand that septic system needs regular maintenance to be most effective. This slide shows the wheel again, and we're off the wheel here, but regarding operation and maintenance is actually part of compliance. And we want to make sure that systems stay in compliance. And owners doing proper operation and maintenance will ensure that their systems are compliant. Some basic things about operation and maintenance. First thing is that all septic systems need to be properly operated. And this is, of course, the homeowner that is operating the system. They're using water. They can use a lot of water one day and very little water another day. They can flush things down the drain. They are the operators, and we need to make sure that owners understand how to properly operate their systems. Second point is that septic systems are not trash cans. It's not a place that you dump your trash down to get rid of it. These are biological treatment systems, and so it's important that we maintain the balance in these systems and not use them for inappropriate materials. The video that you'll see shortly goes into more detail about that. Third point is that owners are responsible for their septic systems. It's their systems. Once it's installed, they get compliance inspections. If it's fully operational and good systems, they're in charge of making sure that their septic systems are operated properly. Fourth bullet, all septic systems need some level of maintenance. What is required really depends on the system. If you have a very simple system, it'll be some fairly minimal maintenance. If you have a more complex systems with more components, it will require additional operation and maintenance. Fifth bullet is that all septic systems need to be pumped routinely to remove solids from your sewage tanks. And that would either be your septic tank, and if they're out there pumping, as this slide shows, the maintainer is out there pumping a system. Owners are watching. They're pumping correctly out of the larger diameter manhole in the tank. They're there. The maintainer is there to remove solids from those tanks. If that's not done, solids will accumulate in there, and it will potentially then end up in plugging your soil treatment system. So all systems need to be pumped. So part of the job of a local unit of government is really to help educate the public about their system. When they're issued a construction permit, they can get information from the county. They'll have a guidance document. It's like an owner's manual that will be given to them, and they should really sit down and understand what they need to do to take care of it. So the video that follows this slide is a video that was actually, again, it was from St. Louis County, which is one of the counties that decided to educate the public about the importance of septic system maintenance. Other counties have done the same thing, but it describes pretty well the proper operation and maintenance of systems. Even though St. Louis County is identified here, as was mentioned in the video, the information applies to all systems across the United States, not just Minnesota, but it applies everywhere. And again, this video was funded through a grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, also known as NOAA, so it was federally funded through the Coastal Zone Management Program in a way to facilitate the protection of Lake Superior. This video is on the St. Louis County website, and we also have a link from our website. So here's the video on the basic septic system operation and maintenance.
If you live in St. Louis County away from areas connected to a municipal sewer, on-site wastewater treatment and dispersal must be considered in the current use or proposed development of your property. Wastewater contains disease-causing pathogens, chemicals and nutrients that, if left untreated, can be harmful to both public and environmental health. Untreated wastewater cannot be flushed or drained into the environment. Nutrients and chemicals must be removed and the pathogens destroyed. That's why it is important to make informed and responsible decisions when choosing the right subsurface treatment system for your property. The first step for any property owner in identifying the proper type of subsurface treatment system, or SSTS, is to contact a Minnesota Pollution Control Agency licensed SSTS designer. This professional will come to the property and evaluate the site for the new system. The following factors will dictate where and what type of system a property owner will need to install. In order to properly determine your system's placement, you must adhere to the current setback standards. These standards determine how far the septic system must be set back from things such as property lines, structures, wetlands, shorelands, wells, neighboring wells, easements, underground power and phone lines, and road right-of-ways. Before deciding on what type of SSTS is right for your property, a few questions must be asked in order to narrow the SSTS selection process. How will the property be used? For example, is the property seasonal or year-round? Is it a private home or a business? How many bedrooms are in the dwelling? And how many people will be using the system? Knowing how the property will be used will help to determine the amount of sewage flow that will come from the property and limit the SSTS options for the property. What type of soils are present on the property? The soils and the depth to seasonally saturated soil conditions on a property will also dictate the type of system a property owner may install. For instance, dry soils or soils with no saturated soil features within 4 feet of the ground surface may allow for an in-grade type of drain field. Soils with seasonally saturated soil conditions less than 3 feet to the ground surface would require an above-grade drain field. Soil information is also needed to size the system and maintain the required 36-inch vertical separation from saturated soil conditions to the bottom of the septic drain field. 36 inches is the minimum amount of unsaturated soil needed for the treatment of wastewater generated on a property. Finally, is the property flat or is there a slope? Calculating the slope of a property and determining how flat or steep it is will be the one last important factor in system design and location. Once the site and the soil evaluations have been conducted, the designer and property owner can then discuss the options available for the size and type of system to be installed. There are many subsurface treatment systems to choose from, and the one you choose will depend on your property's unique characteristics. Subsurface treatment systems fall into 5 different categories. Type 1 systems are trenches, seepage beds, mounds, at-grades, and gray water systems. All Type 1 systems must have at least 1 foot of seasonally unsaturated soil to be constructed on. Distribution media can be approved rock or MPCA registered and approved proprietary distribution products. Soils with less than 1 foot of seasonally unsaturated conditions may require systems with advanced design and/or pre-treatment components as part of the system design. Systems designed for these soil conditions would be Type 3, 4, or 5 systems. These types of systems would require operating permits. Operating permits are renewable permits with requirements for system maintenance and monitoring to ensure the system is functioning properly. Type 2 systems are any systems installed on permeable soils or in floodplain areas, privies, and holding tanks. Type 3 systems are systems with flow restrictions or reduced sizing, and systems or mounds installed on less than 1 foot of seasonally saturated soils. Type 4 systems are designed with Minnesota Pollution Control Agency approved and registered pre-treatment distribution products. Some examples of a Type 4 system are media filters, constructed wetlands, and aerobic treatment units. Type 5 systems are experimental systems with an engineered design. Once a system design is completed, the design and an application for construction of an SSTS must be submitted to the St. Louis County Environmental Services Department for review. Once approved, a permit to construct the system will be issued, and the property owner can hire a licensed MPCA SSTS installer to construct the system as designed. St. Louis County SSTS inspectors will perform a construction inspection when the system is installed to verify location and code compliance with the system before issuing a certificate of compliance on the new system. A well-designed and properly constructed subsurface treatment system is a fundamental component to any developed property. A properly designed, constructed, and maintained SSTS is important to maintain the health and safety of the public while ensuring a clean environment, today and in the future.
Great, well I hope you really enjoyed that video on the management of septic systems. It's a really good example of how local units of government can become involved in the education and outreach of the management responsibilities for the system owners within their jurisdiction. It's important that all system administrators understand that the proper operation of most septic systems is the owner's responsibility, and we all need to have a basic understanding of a septic system. We all need to understand that we need to use water wisely, that septic systems aren't designed to take trash or anything besides wastewater, that we need to protect our sewage treatment areas and protect the expansion area. The proper maintenance is really the owner's responsibility, but local units of government can help facilitate system owners to understand those responsibilities. And in some cases, system management is a shared responsibility between local units of government and the system owners through what's known as an operating permit. This short segment really talked about the importance of system maintenance and management. The system owner is responsible to see that their system is properly operated and maintained in most cases. Systems are not trash cans. They're biological waste treatment systems that need to be taken care of. And system owners can learn how to take care of their systems through educational and outreach efforts that are facilitated by local units of government. Today's quiz: who is responsible for the proper operation and maintenance of a septic system? A, the county. B, the system owner. C, the state. Or D, the contractor who installed it. Question 2. A septic system needs to be pumped out routinely because A, the alarm goes off. B, solids accumulate naturally in the sewage tank, and if the tank fills with solids, solids will eventually plug up the soil treatment area. C, tree roots find their way into the tank and clog it up. Or D, sewage is always backing up into the basement. That concludes this section.